Well, you can choose which, if you want to mention a couple of them and then say the green sheet's coming. It'll be out there. Oh, look, I'm on the screen. Good morning. Welcome. It's great to see so many faces that haven't been with us for a while. I know that's exciting, and so the conversations might continue for a little bit, but try to keep it quiet while we talk up here. You know. It's great to have you with us. I am especially grateful for those who showed up for the No Kings Day yesterday. It was a great day. Woo, woo, woo. Let's just say we were well represented out there. So it was great. That's my big gratitude for the day. And I'm grateful, as always, I'm grateful for the choir because this is their first time this year. With some unexpected faces among them, too. So make sure you give them big kudos afterwards because they're going to sound great. Anyway, gratitude for Janet Hoffman as well as our worship associate this morning.
Well, thank you, Tony. And good morning to all of you, whether you are here in the sanctuary, out on our pavilion by our beautiful garden, or joining us online. We are glad that you are here. I want to welcome those who are watching the recorded service on Facebook or YouTube also. We hope that you will come and join us on a Sunday. And for anyone who hasn't already, please send an email to office@uunaples.org to get on our mailing list. If you have not already done so, it is a great way to get reminded of all our wonderful events. If there is anyone here for the first or second time, if you would please raise your hand. Oh, welcome. Yes, very brave. Thank you. We welcome you, and it is marvelous to have you. We hope that you will join us out on the pavilion after the service for refreshments and a chance to meet you. If you look on the back of your order of service, is it true today, Tony? Okay, because sometimes I say and then it isn't. So if you look on the back of your order of service, you will find the mission and vision statements that were created by the members of this congregation. By living into these aspirations, we try to make a difference in our own lives, within this community, and in the world. There will be an announcement sheet that is coming out. It is a full length. We have so many things going on, but let me just list a few. Living room conversations will be after the service in Thomas Hall. Tony is doing a valuable workshop on Wednesday at 7, articulating our beliefs, living our values. How important is that? We are continuing to collect for Mission Peniel with non-perishable food, diapers, and clothing. And just a little tickle that on Sunday, December 7th and 14th, we will be doing the silent auction, and so you please consider what you might donate in the way of a dinner or event or service that can help our auction continue with its great success.
And on the day before that, December 6th, we will have an all-congregational workshop so to push our strategic plan forward. So also mark that on your calendar. So it's getting busy.
Yes. All right, now let's take a deep breath and center ourselves for this hour together with the morning's prelude.
Because the tides are rising, so must we rise to this moment, to this day, to this life. This place in the web that is yours and mine and ours, rise. Because the earth remains our only home, and we, fellow travelers, its only hope for healing and wholeness. Rise before the mystery, before the big bang that started it all, that this infinite universe still feels the in and the out of all our breaths. Surrender with gratitude for this beauty, this chance to be part of it all, to give back, to weave together life. Past, present, future, everywhere, always, as one. Come, let's worship together and join in our chalice lighting response in your orders of service and on the screen. May this flame stir our hearts and remind us of our mission to be truly welcoming, to grow in mind and spirit, and to widen the circle of peace, justice, and love. And let's rise in body. Oh, wait a minute. You guys are better than I am at this. Let's rise in body or spirit and sing our opening hymn. All creatures of the earth and sky will sing the first 3 verses in the hymnal. The words will be on the screen. Please be seated. So yesterday at the No Kings, I would call celebration, because it really was, it felt like a festival yesterday at the courthouse. A lot of talk. I did some of it. The thing that I realized after... the thing that I realized afterwards was that there hadn't been any mention of the climate, the environment. And we have planned for today to provide a service for that. But it is one of those things that fits into the mix of what's happening in our world today. We are so bombarded with so many immediate things, so many things coming out of the news every single day that we are forgetting our planet. And this is the most existential issue of our day. And we really do need to consider that almost as a priority, though it seems that there are greater things to think about immediately. So let's sort of deepen into this idea. And this service was originally going to be last weekend, the day before, I guess, was the last Indigenous Peoples Day celebrated in the United States, because the administration has decided that they have going to eliminate the Indigenous Peoples part and keep the Columbus Day part. If you didn't know that, I'm sorry. That'd be the bearer of sad news. But let's deepen into this. I have a wonderful piece from the poet Joy Harjo, who was our poet laureate of the United States between 2019 and 2022. She puts together words so beautifully. This piece she entitled, "For Calling the Spirit Back from Wandering the Earth in Its Human Feet." And I added the other title, "How to Love the Earth." So let's see what Joy Harjo has to say. I've changed the first line. That's all. Put down that espresso, that lovely scone, that glass of wine. Turn off that cell phone, computer, and remote control. Open the door and then close it behind you. Take a breath offered by the friendly winds. They travel the earth, gathering essences of plants to clean. Give it back, that breath, with gratitude. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift to fly to the stars' ears and back. Acknowledge this earth who has cared for you since you were a dream, planting itself precisely within your parents' desire. Let your moccasin feet take you to the encampment of the guardians who have known you from before time, who will be there after time. They sit before the fire that has been there without time. Let the earth stabilize your post-colonial insecure jitters. Be respectful of the small insects, birds, and animal people who accompany you. Ask their forgiveness for the harm we humans have brought down upon them. Don't worry. The heart knows its way through, though there may be high-rises, interstates, checkpoints, armed soldiers, massacres, wars, and those who will despise you because they despise themselves. The journey may take you a few hours, a day, a year, 100, 1,000, or even more. Watch your mind. Without training, it might run away and leave your heart to the immense human feast set by the thieves of time. Don't hold regrets. When you find your way to the circle, to the fire kept burning by the keepers of your soul, you will be welcomed. You must clean yourself with sage, cedar, or other healing plants. Cut the ties you have to failure and shame. Let go the pain you are holding in your mind, in your shoulders, your heart, all the way to your feet. Let go the pain of your ancestors to make way for those who are heading in our direction. Ask for forgiveness. Call upon the help of those who love you. That these helpers take many forms: animal, element, bird, angel, stone, saint, ancestor. Call your spirit back. It may be caught in corners and creases of shame, judgment, and human abuse. You must call in a way that your spirit will want to return. Speak to it as you would a beloved child. Welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It may return in pieces, in tatters. Gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost for so long. Your spirit will need to sleep a while after it is bathed and given clean clothes. But now you can have a party. Invite everyone you know who loves and supports you and this earth. Keep room for those who have no place else to go. Plan to give away what you can. And remember, keep the speeches short. Then you must do this. Help the next person find their way through the dark. Our centering hymn this morning is Meditation on Breathing. It's very simple. We'll sing it for as long as you guys want to play, I guess. We'll see. Please remain seated.
So I think most of you know how this goes, but if you don't, basically there are 3 parts that can go at any time. They can go on top of each other, but we're going to start with the simplest one, which is breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Again, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe. And then the next one. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out. And the next one goes like this. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. And you can do whichever one you want. I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. One more. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe
That was wonderful. Thank you. In this time in our service, we offer one another the gift of caring, the gift of attention, and the gift of love. This is a time to share, if you would, if you want, a joy or a sorrow that you're holding in your heart, something that's personal to you. Please, no announcements or political statements. Though we know that the world weighs heavily upon all of us these days. I have at least one piece of good news. I spoke yesterday afternoon with Marge Ostrom. She answered the phone with great vitality and was happy to hear from me and just bubbling about how well she's doing. And, you know, it's incremental steps for someone who's had a heart event. But she celebrated the fact that recently she was able to get out of bed by herself, number one. And she surprised Ed yesterday when he came in and asked what she might like for dinner, expecting the standard response of applesauce or something like that, when she said she wanted a cheesesteak sandwich. So I think she's on the mend. We know that because there's no particular way for the medicine to help her necessarily, there's a looming sense that something else could happen again, but she just sounded great, and Ed is doing well as well. So if you have a joy or a sorrow you'd like to share, I see Susie in the back certainly has one. And please raise your hand. I'll bring you the microphone and share, please, what's in your heart. I'm going to go this way.
Good morning. I'm Michael Finkel, and my joy is that yesterday was such a joyous event in the No King's Day, and so many creative signs by people. And I tried to think, how would I summarize it? And I think we were all saying, who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
One of my sisters sent a sign that said, "No faux king way."
Funny. Good morning. I'm Cheryl Nunes, and I'm representing the 50th anniversary. We received our second shipment of chalices, so after the service, for those who have signed up previously or want to sign up today to receive one, I'll be out on the pavilion.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Judy Freiberg. I wasn't going to come today because I'm really, really tired, but it's because of the topic, obviously. So I wanted everybody to know, and I've talked about this before, I joined UU because I needed support for all the political activity I'm doing. Not to be political here, but to get support, because one of the things I'm well aware of is our liberal, progressive, democratic, whatever you want to call it, community is not effective. And I am so active to try to make us more effective. And that's not always easy, so I needed support for that. One of the advantages from being here is getting educated by Janet Hoffman on how to talk to people who don't necessarily believe what I believe. And my activities to try to help the River Park community has brought me in contact with a lot of Republicans. I have developed incredible relationships with these people. And in doing that, we formed a group called Red, Blue for Green, designed to elect candidates who will come through for us environmentally. In order to get that group to happen and be effective in the way we relate to each other, I had to listen to why they are alienated from the Democratic Party. And they had to listen to me about why I don't like what the Republican Party's doing. A lot of it is around culture war issues. What I was shocked, because Janet told me to listen and be curious, I was shocked to realize that I completely agree with them about the Democratic Party, completely. And it's what I'm trying to do to change things. And I completely agree with them about why they're alienated from the Republican Party. So I just want to say, it's an added bonus here, and I'm not talking politically, am I? So, I don't want to. But one thing that drives me crazy is when people talk too long, and I'm a lawyer, so you know I'm ending right now.
Hi, I'm Susie Riddle, and I'm one of those people who talk too long, but I'm going to be very brief. My joy is from yesterday, the protest, and I have a special guest with me. This is Erica. You all know Angel. Angel is in Sunday school, or whatever we call it. But this is her grandma, who she lives with, and the three of us have become real kindred spirits. But Erica couldn't come mostly to church because she works Saturday nights overnight. But she's here today, and I'm so happy. She and Angel are two of my best friends, and I consider them family.
Hi, I'm Tabitha. In light of the theme today, I thought I would share a success from my work. I work for an environmental nonprofit that works in the Caribbean region, and we had a photo contest in August where we were hoping to, spread our mission, talk about caring about nature, and it was a fantastic success. We had hoped to have maybe 100 photos. We had 317 photos from 31 countries or territories. We got nearly 1,800 new email addresses, and 81 countries worldwide participated. And the reason I wanted to share it was because I sometimes feel like, oh, I'm the only one who's paying attention to nature. I can drive down 75 and recognize the exotic plant species on the side of the road, and I think, oh, nobody thinks the way I do, right? Like in light of this great divide. But there were such clear themes in the contest. There were so many, we asked them to submit a story. So there were so many examples of people spending time with their friends and family in nature in their special places, like a dad building a sandcastle with his daughter on the beach, and a mom with her daughter in the water, and this family reunion where the boats were rafted up and the people of all ages were swimming around it in the clear Caribbean water. And there were lots of moments of solitude, of people taking their beautiful, walk and talking about the spirituality of it, talking about joy and wonder, these extreme emotions that we don't always, you have to have a special moment to feel them. And tons of people just looking at nature. Somebody who stayed still, and then a sloth came over and reached out to touch them, And one where somebody was like, every morning a bird came to my window, and finally I got out the camera, and took a picture. So there are plenty of people out there, connecting with nature and recognizing its value. And that was an inspiration to me, so I wanted to share it.
Thank you. Yep. All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Diane Keys. I have a sorrow and a joy today. Whoever is familiar with the Emerson Academy, my grandson was in the Emerson Academy this summer, and he brought his friend Paris. And Monday, Paris was driving, and she has seizures. She had a seizure. She had an accident, hit a pole, and she passed away. So she was buried on Thursday. So my joy today, our son called this morning and said, oh, I'm in Detroit. I'm running the Detroit Free Press Marathon. So we were like, I thought we were supposed to be getting together, but he said he didn't want us to come because he wasn't sure if he was going to run. Well, today marks the 45th anniversary of my husband running the Detroit Free Press Marathon.
Good morning, I'm Beth. I have maybe a joy and a sorrow kind of combined. I'm a family nurse practitioner that's worked in the women's health space for 11 years, and over the years it's gotten harder and harder and harder. And over the last couple of months, I really was starting to get burned out because I was working a full-time job and getting my own business up and running, and I was staying up like till 2 or 3 in the morning half the time trying to get my work done. And I just kept saying, like, I really need a vacation. I really need a break. Like, I need to take some time to be able to work on my business. My company downsized, and I no longer have my full-time position. So that's a sorrow, but the joy is that hopefully I can invest some more time in my own business. I kept saying, I really wish I could do like the garden committee, but I can't do it because I have to work. So I'm hoping I can get to do some more things around our congregation. And I get to take some time to breathe.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Such a blend of joy and sorrow, losses and gains. Such as life. It is the ups and downs that we experience that allow us to grow, and our time together that allows us to be cared for and to care for others and to grow together in our joy and in our sorrow. Please join me in the spirit of meditation. This is a prayer by the Wampanoag elder Menetotquat. He was a wonderful storyteller who passed not too long ago. Hear, O humankind, the prayer of my heart. For are we not one? Have we not one desire? To heal our Mother Earth and bind her wounds, to care for one another and bind each other's wounds, and still to be as free as spotted eagle climbing the laughing breath of our Father Sky, to hear again from dark forests and flashing rivers the varied, over-changing song of creation. O humankind, are we not all brothers and sisters? Are we not the grandchildren of the great mystery? Do we not want to be loved and to love, to work and to play, to sing and dance? But we live with fear. Fear that is hate, fear that is mistrust, envy, greed, vanity. Fear that is ambition, competition, aggression. Fear that is loneliness, anger, bitterness, cruelty. And yet, fear is only twisted love, love turned back on itself, love that was denied, love that was rejected. And love. Love is life. Creation, seed and leaf, and blossom and fruit and seed. Love is growth and search and reach and touch and dance. Love is nurture and succor and feed and pleasure. Love is life, believing in itself. And life? Life is the sacred mystery singing to itself, dancing to its drum, telling stories, improvising. playing. And we are all that spirit. Our stories tell but one cosmic story, that we are love indeed. That perfect love in me seeks that love in you. And if our eyes could ever meet without fear, we would recognize each other and rejoice. For love is life, believing in itself. Hear, O humankind, the prayer of my heart. Let's share some time in silence.
Thank you. That was beautiful. In thinking about Indigenous peoples, I am reminded of their incredible sense of care for the earth. They view everything as sacred. Plants, trees, all animals, rivers, lakes, oceans, mountains, and even rocks. Everything is appreciated for its beauty, its energy and spirit, and for some, as a resource. All of nature belongs and is valued. Even with the taking of an animal or a plant, they believe in giving back. How do they show this reciprocity? They give back by asking permission, showing gratitude, and only taking what is needed. For plants, they may plant more seeds. They may provide extra water and extra natural fertilizer to the plants that are left. They will not take the first plant that is sprouting up or the last plant that is left. Their kindness means that they make sure the plant or tree survives or that more is grown. If an animal is killed, they give thanks, which may include singing or praying. They sincerely thank the animal for its spirit and its life. Food may be left to honor the animal killed, which then may help other animals to be fed. To honor the animal's spirit, they use every part of the animal, from the skin to the bones to the meat. The skin for clothing, bones for fertilizer, and meat for food. Respecting the animal means not wasting any of it. They also ask for forgiveness. What is killed is usually shared with the family, the community, or those who are less fortunate. Using the whole animal is not just done out of necessity, but out of a deep respect for the animal. Their reverence for life and life's energy includes mountains, rivers, and lakes too. They perform rituals of honor to honor their spirits and work to keep a balance so that a healthy ecosystem is maintained. Indigenous people will see the forest, for example, as a whole living being with divine power, not just a collection of individual trees. They see each environment and how everything fits and works together. They see all life, including animals, humans, plants, land, rocks, and water, as a part of a family. Their view sees humans as not separate from or superior to nature, but as stewards or caretakers of the land. They communicate with the spirits of the waterways and forests to acquire knowledge and healing from them. There is a profound understanding of the interdependence between people and the forests and waterways. There is a strong awareness that actions have consequences. They know that there is a connection between their health and the health of Earth. They believe that if a river or a woods becomes contaminated, the spirit that sustains them will leave. Indigenous peoples and their deep knowledge give us an important way of seeing the world and the environment. They believe that we are not larger than nature, and we have responsibilities to the natural world that surpass our own personal desires and wishes. Indigenous understandings call us to appreciate Mother Nature with an open mind and an open heart.
Mother Earth,
I have a interest in creation stories, and I have to tell you how that started. I was in my 20s, and my mom introduced me to mystery stories, and she had a whole bunch that she was recommending to me. And one or two of which were written by the author Tony Hillerman, and they were about the Navajo tribal police out in the Four Corners area. And how many of you had heard or read about those folks? Oh, good number. Wow. I'm surprised. Anyway, the story's based on stuff that happens in that area, but the books are infused with sort of the tribal knowledge, and the creation stories come to the fore quite often, the creation story. It's a beautiful story. It includes 4 different worlds, and in the very first world, beings are very amorphous. They're maybe male and female, but there's no form, and the world really doesn't have much form. And that world becomes flooded, and those beings escape into the second world, where they take on the shape of animals, a little bit more sort of structured beings, but they don't, ultimately, they don't do well together. They're not in relationship well with each other. They're not in relationship with the world around them very well. So that world, too, gets destroyed by ice, but not before a few of them escape into the third world, where they become more like human beings and live with other creatures in the world. But again, even though they are learning things through each of these phases of each world that they become a part of, and in this world they learn farming and sort of respect for the earth, they still sort of struggle, and they still fall out of balance with one another and the earth. And once again, that earth is flooded, and a few of them find a way to escape into the fourth world, which is the current world in which we live. And so that each passage from one world to the other is sort of guided by a creative spirit of sorts. And they find themselves in this world. And of course, we know that in this world, as human beings, they also struggle. But through those different entities, the people learned, the Dene, as they call themselves, learned so much about relationship and their failures or their successes. And so they brought all of that with them, especially their respect for the land. The Navajos are one of the tribes that have been returned to their ancestral land. So those 4 corners of the Navajo land are very holy places. There are 4 different mountains on the corner of an incredible vast area in the southwest. And their respect for the land and their respect for ritual in connecting themselves to the land is very important. The thing that I think we know is how the Navajos and all the other indigenous peoples of this country were basically overrun by the white settler, the colonial settler population, and who have obviously a very different creation story, a creation story that is based in Genesis in many ways, and that talks about, depending on what translation you follow, talks about either stewardship of the earth as our responsibilities as humans, or dominion over the earth. And unfortunately, at some point, that conversation shifted more towards the idea that we have, as human beings, dominion over the rest of the world. In fact, the first translation of the Bible, the King James Version in 1611, used the word dominion instead of a word like stewardship. And it was taken to heart by a good bunch of people who arrived in this country as pilgrims and in other traditions that arrived here. And they saw no problem, therefore, because it was their role to take control and control the land, to push into the wilderness and try to cut up this land into usable chunks. It was all about the use of the land and not about reverence to the land. How can we make this work for us who have dominion over it? We are, I think, I hope, somewhat or definitely bothered intellectually by the fact that the progress of our American experiment, our democracy ultimately includes the displacement of those who have occupied the land for thousands of years. And we tend to gloss over the overwhelming loss of life and the destructions of hundreds of highly developed cultures that existed here before the arrival of the white settlers. Far from being a virgin wilderness in 1492, it was alive with indigenous nations, agricultural, self-governing bodies with their own histories and myths, inevitably tied to the land. And their stewardship of the land was the most important aspect of their being. The earth, the universe, and the manifestations of some primordial grandeur. And the creation stories varied widely from east to west and north to south. The people achieved their full identity by being in balance with nature, as individuals and as a community. But here we are, in a world where much of that culture, much of that understanding of the importance of relationship between us and the land has been lost. But we do have, fortunately, the indigenous tribes who are still trying to teach us what they knew even back then, how we might come into better relationship with the land. And everything in our history, in our own culture, is about the land. Who oversaw it, who cultivated, who fished its waters, who maintained its wildlife, who invaded and stole it, how it became a commodity, broken into pieces to be bought and sold on the market. U.S. policies and actions related to indigenous peoples, though often termed racist or discriminatory, are rarely depicted as classic cases of what they really are: imperialism, and particularly a form of imperialism, settler colonialism. As anthropologist Patrick Wolf writes, the question of genocide is never far from discussions of settler colonialism. Land is life, or at least land is necessary for life. And if you push people off their land that they have cultivated for centuries, for decades, for eons perhaps, they lose a purpose. And it's the land, the earth, the relationship to the earth that must be central to any discussion of the plight of the settlers, us, and the indigenous people. Thomas Berry writes in his book, The Great Work, the most basic and disturbing commitment of the original European settlers was to conquer this continent and reduce it to human use. Because the exaltation of the human and the subjugation of the natural has been so excessive, we now need to understand how the human community and the living forms of earth might now become a life-giving presence to one another. And the wisdom was there all the time. Berry writes again, with the rise of modern science, we begin to think of the universe as a collection of objects rather than a communion of subjects. While we have more scientific knowledge of the universe, more than any people ever had, it is not the type of knowledge that leads to intimate presence with a meaningful universe. Our world of human meaning is no longer coordinated with the meaning of our surroundings. We have disengaged from the profound interaction with our environment that our ancestors knew, even our own ancestors. Now, even more than ever, we need that deeper experience. We need to learn how to reconnect and see the whole. And so only the real honor we can offer the people of this country who were here before us, our indigenous forebears, is to silence our own voices and our own desires and to listen to their wisdom. wisdom that shines through despite the unforgivable tragedies. There is certainly other wisdom to be brought to bear. You know, I'm sure that Jane Goodall died a couple of weeks ago on October 5th, and she was wise enough to leave her last words in a video. Obviously not her last words, but her last words to the world. And she spoke that on a video. I want to make sure, she said, that you all understand that each and every one of you has a role to play. You may not know it, you may not find it, but your life matters. And you're here for a reason. I want you to understand that we are part of the natural world. And even today, when the planet is dark, there is still hope. Don't lose hope, she said. If you lose hope, you become apathetic and you do nothing. And if you want to save what is still beautiful in this world, if you want to save the planet for the future generations, your grandchildren, their grandchildren, then think about the actions you take each day. Above all, said Jane Goodall, I want you to think about the fact that we are part, when we're on planet Earth, we are part of Mother Nature. We depend on Mother Nature for clean air, for water, for food, for clothing, for everything. And as we destroy one ecosystem after another, as we create worse climate change, worse loss of diversity, we have to do everything in our power to make the world a better place for the children alive today and for those that will follow. Indigenous wisdom and the wisdom of people who have learned through their own experience. Our attitudes, our internal orientations toward the planet have indeed begun to shift over the past 50 years as we have slowly realized the seriousness of our plight. Some people, and I don't necessarily include myself in this category, have truly altered their mindset and changed the way that they think and act to have a much lighter impact on the world. Some, unfortunately, still deny that human beings have any effect at all on the trajectory of global warming. Most of us live between those two poles. Even those of us who consider themselves awake to the environmental threat find it hard to change our lifestyles, to change the things that we do that have a serious impact on the world. We still use the Earth's resources in ways that are not sustainable. It's been long said that change starts from within. What ways might each of us begin to practice then to change our interior landscapes, to have more compassion and align ourselves more closely with the incredibly diverse and beautiful landscapes of this planet Earth? I'll leave you with that question.
Our Sunday collection is an opportunity to respond to the moment and offer something over and above our pledges. It is a tangible commitment to the mission and vision of this congregation. If you are watching online, we encourage you to send your offering with a check to the address that is on the screen, or to go online to our website and use the donate button. In the spirit of love and trust, we gratefully accept this morning's offering. The ushers may come forward now. Thank you.
These are some great words from a recently retired minister who is still, unfortunately, well, fortunately quite young, but unfortunately retired from ministry in the Four Corners area. She writes, "Beneath the streams of thoughts that clamber and chatters over the landscape of our interior world, beneath our habits of momentum and stirring, there is a stillness, deep and peaceful, the place where creation begins. Who lives there? We know her by many names: truth, love, God, wisdom. We turn our hearts towards her face, toward the mystery, and bring our prayers of awe, of longing, of hope, of exhaustion. She holds us in our grief and anger, in our disappointment, our loneliness, and our rebirth. From her viewpoint, she sees us, children of the stillness, children of love. She sees our place in the order of things, joined together in the larger story. And she invites us again and again into living, invites us into loving, invites us into being loved. May we be restored to wholeness and blessed with peace. May all those who we encounter receive this blessing through our loving and being in the world." Let's rise and body your spirit. Sing our closing hymn, "We Are Not Our Own." It's not in the hymnal, and we have sung this before, and so you shouldn't be afraid of it. The words will be on the screen.
We are not our own, earth forms us, human leaves on nature's growing vine, fruit of many generations, seeds of life divine. We are not alone, earth names us, past and present, peoples near and far, family and friends and strangers show us who we are. And if love's encounters lead us on a way uncertain and unknown, contentment we have made uplift us, we are not alone. Therefore let us make thanksgiving, and with justice willing and aware, give to earth and all things living liturgies of care. So let us be house of welcome, living stone upholding living stone, gladly showing all our neighbors we are not our own.
An Ojibwe prayer by Art Solomon, Ojibwe elder. Grandfather, look at our brokenness. We all know that in creation only the human family has strayed from the sacred way. We know that we are the ones who are divided, and we are the ones who must come back together to walk in the sacred way. Grandfather, Sacred One, teach us love, compassion, and honor, that we may heal the earth and heal each other. Walk together in peace and love, my friends. Have a wonderful day.